You have your product, you have your service, you take in your ministry, you got something now and you're ready to monetize it. How do you get people to buy? That's what we're talking about this live episode of the Monetize Your Ministry podcast. Let's go.
Welcome to the Monetize Your Ministry podcast.
And you get a chance to interact with them. To me, that's full-time ministry.
That I happy because tackle that business is like a thing. It brings in itself and then it opens it.
I want to provide content and things that will help change lives, and I simultaneously want to receive a blessing from that.
Now here's your host, Kymone.
All right, live episode of the Monetize Your Ministry podcast. If you're watching this, I'm going to ask you to share it. But also, there are a few things I want to ask you to do as you are listening to this or watching this. First thing, subscribe. If you're not subscribing on YouTube, make sure you go to YouTube and type in Monetize Your Ministry podcast. Subscribe there. And then if you're a listener, if you like listening to your podcast while you're on the go, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple Podcasts, you can go to Google Podcasts, you can even go to Amazon, and you can find our podcast there and you can subscribe. So make sure you subscribe. If you're on one of these podcasting platforms, leave us a rating and a review. It helps more and more people to find the podcast. All right, one more thing. Share it. Share this episode. Share this episode, other episodes with someone who needs the inspiration, someone who needs the motivation, someone who just needs some instruction. They need to know how to take their idea, how to take the thing that they're good at, how to take that thing they've been sitting on, create a product, create a service, and now get it out into the world. If you're watching this live, just go ahead and let me know in the chat where you're watching this from so I can shout you out, shout out where you're from. Want to be able to engage with you. One more thing before we jump into today's episode. Really quickly, today's episode is 5 simple ways to get people to buy from you. And if you are struggling figuring out how do I take what I have, this thing that I've been using and giving away for free, or the thing that I'm just developing, how am I going to get people to buy it? Well, this episode is for you. One more thing before I jump into the meat of this episode. I'm wearing some merch today. My ministry belongs in the marketplace. Yep, this is our first merch coming from the podcast. My ministry belongs in the marketplace. If you are watching this live or you're watching this on replay and you're interested, you like this merch, you believe in this message, you want to wear this message and share this message, just go ahead and put me in the chat. If you put me in the chat, I'll know that you're interested, you like the merch, you're interested in it, and you possibly would like to get your hands on it. Because here's what I believe. Your ministry, the thing that you've been using to serve others, you want to increase that. You want to do more of it. And you also want to be able to support yourself and accomplish some of your dreams by using something that you've been helping others with. Then that ministry belongs in the marketplace. And there's different ways we can define the marketplace. But if you believe in the message, you want to wear it and share the message, just go ahead and put me in the comments and I'll know that you're interested in it. All right, we're going to get into the 5 simple ways you can get people to buy from you. So let's talk about it. You have this product, right? You have this ministry, the way you serve others. And it's some way that you've developed through some practice. You've developed it through helping others. You've developed the skill and the expertise. And people have been impacted. People have been blessed by it. And now you're saying, I want to take that out into the world. And how am I going to take that out into the world and get people to do something that maybe you're uncomfortable with? Maybe you've never done it before. And that is get people to pay you for it, right? Come on, that's what you're probably thinking. Kymone, all of this stuff sounds good. How do I get people to pay me for it? I've brought on guests on here who've built businesses, who've started things off of their ministry. And the common thing that all of them have in common is they're getting people to give them money for it. That's that whole monetization part of it. Well, how do you get started with that? Now, let me tell you some of the conventional wisdom, right? The conventional wisdom is go get you a nice, well laid out website. Go spend a bunch of money on business cards. Go spend a bunch of money on some swag and some branding stuff and have your stuff looking really, really good. And you spend a lot of money. And listen, I'm not against good quality websites. I'm for that. I'm not against getting good branding. I'm for that. I'm not against swag and all the good stuff that makes people value what you bring to the table. I am for that. But at the end of the day, that's not what mainly will get you your sales, right? Fancy stuff is not what it gets you your sales. In fact, if I'm you, there's some simple things that you need to be doing right away, that what I call grassroots things that will get you your first sales, that will start getting you your product into the hands of people who will pay you for it, that will start getting you paid for your service. And here are some of these grassroots things, right, that you need to be aware of. And I'll say this, the big principle here is people buy from people they trust. People buy from people that they trust. Someone put that word trust in the comments. People buy from people they trust. You know it. If you're going to buy a car, you want to know there's some level of trust that the car I'm buying is going to run well. It's going to function well. It's not going to be a lemon, right, where I drive off the lot and it breaks down on me a couple miles down the road. So I need to have some level of trust, even in that salesperson who we sometimes make a caricature out of, right? Used car salesperson. But it has to be some trust. And so for you, with your skill that you are going to be developing and bring out here, with your product that you're developing, how do you get people to trust you enough that they give you their money? Well, I'm going to give you 5 R's to think of. 5 R's, 5 words. They're all going to begin with the letter R. And if you're tracking with me, I want you to help me by typing this in the comments, even if you're watching this on replay. So the first R that you need to do, and this one is big, and this is the one that if you're getting started, that you probably want to do the most of. Here it is, reaching out. Reaching out. It is you leveraging the trust that you already have from people who know you. It's you leveraging and reaching out to people who, first of all, have had a relationship, have had a connection with you already, and they know you. They know how you work. They know how you serve well. They've seen your skills. They've experienced your expertise in action. And it's simply making a call to them and asking them, hey, here's what I have. How can you support me? How can this be of service to you? Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm offering this up. So it's reaching out to people. Now, some people are very uncomfortable with that as you're monetizing. You're very uncomfortable because you're saying to yourself, well, these people, I know them from before. Will it mess up their relationship? Will they think I'm now trying to use them? And my answer to you is, do you believe in the thing that you have? Do you believe in that product? Do you believe in that service that you have? Well, if you believe in that product, if you believe in that service, do you believe that the people who you already know can actually benefit from that product and benefit from that service? Do you believe in it enough to share it with them? And do you care about them enough so they can get the help from what you have? So it's reaching out. And some of this is saying, okay, let me make a list of people I already know who I can reach out to and present the opportunity that they can be benefited by what I have. Now, reaching out also goes beyond just the people you know, but it's also finding yourself in places where you can make connections with people who are decision makers, people who fit your ideal client, people who need what you have. That's what it is. How can I get close to and talk to people who need what I have, who have a problem that I can solve? So where are the people that need what I have? Where are they congregating? Where are they gathering? Where are the places they go to? Where are the meetings they go to? And how can I reach out and go to the places where they are and make a connection with them? That's this whole outreach thing. I was listening to one of my online mentors. Her name is Ashley Nicole Kirkwood, and she talks about pitching, right? And pitching your services is reaching out. It's outreach. And she said, pitching is something people are uncomfortable with, but the other option for us just getting started is to put out a whole lot of content and then hope that you can attract people to you, that they see it and then come over to where you are. Well, that takes a whole lot more work, and you're waiting on people to come your way instead of going to them. Now, you're the one just getting started. So some of the rules that apply to people who've been in the game for a while don't apply to you yet. You don't have the name recognition. You don't have years of service. You don't have a lot of testimonials behind your name. So you need to go out to people and reach out to them to share with them how you can help them. Now, it may look like this. I'm going to make a list of organizations. I'm going to make a list of people who need the consulting services I have. I'm trying to break into the speaking game, right? I'm going to make a list of people who can benefit from the speech that I have. I want to make a list of people who can benefit from this training that I have on leadership or whatever topic. And I'm going to begin making calls to them. Now, you're not just saying, hey, I have the speech, it's $5,000, would you buy it, right? Like, you don't do it that way. But you call and you make a conversation. This is who I am, and I'm trying to find some information on companies like yourself. What are some of the problems you have? You create a conversation, and then you can ask, if I can present a training on this, would you be open to it? And if they're interested, then you follow up. Hey, I have this training. I'd like to present it to your organization. And you can even present it to your organization for free to start. And we'll talk about that principle later. But you're making an outreach to them. You're calling. Now, what happens, you're asking, if they say no? What happens if they reject me? What happens if no one calls me back? What happens if after I make my pitch to them, they still don't buy? Well, you started with a no. So if you make an outreach, your possibilities are you keep the no you had before, or you get a yes. I'll say that again. The possibilities, if you make an outreach, are you get a yes, or you keep the no you already had. And so don't be afraid of getting a no, because if you do no reaching out, you keep the no you already had. Like, you already stay with a no. So I want to encourage you. You're getting started. You want to get some sales. Make a list. In fact, set a timer and brainstorm. Who are all the people that I know that can benefit from the service that I have, that can benefit from this product that I have? And let me now begin making some calls, creating a conversation, asking their problems, asking how I can serve, and been presenting what I have as a solution to their problems. But I'm going to make an outreach. And here's one last tip on making outreach, because I know how we are as human beings. Here's how we are. We'll make a couple calls and then we'll go, this doesn't work. Kymone's not telling me the truth. This monetizing your ministry, this building a business, this monetizing my skills. This is more difficult. I can't do it, right? Here's what I'll do. I'll give you a game of math. Set yourself a number. I'm going to make 50 calls. I'm going to make 60 calls. Put a number that's pretty high up there. Don't do 10, but do 50, do 60 calls. The first call you make is not going to be as good as the 10th call you make. It won't be as good, your 10th call, as your 20th call. And if you keep getting no's, that's fine, because the goal is to make sure you go all the way up to that number you set. Here's what I know. I know you're going to tweak your offering. You're going to tweak what you have. You're going to learn in the process. And if you set that number, I believe you're going to get to the point where you're going to get a yes. Now, if you get the right yes, 49 other no's don't matter as much if you get the right yes. One of my guests I had on here, Pierre Quinn, told me this story. He told me this off camera, that yes, he was doing pitching and stuff, but he got the right yes from someone who put him in touch with an organization that's now become a repeat client for him. And so reaching out is super important to getting sales. Calling people, telling them how you can help them, offering to solve their problem, and then providing that solution. Number one, reaching out. That's number one. The number two, the second way, simple way to get people to buy from you is something called referrals. Referrals. Remember, people go off of trust. Reaching out is you using the trust you've already established, or trust you can build easily. That's networking. That's pitching yourself. That's going to networking events. That's calling up people on the phone. And that's even just reaching out to people you already know. That's reaching out. But number 2, referrals. That's trust that you borrow from someone else. Trust that you borrow from someone else. I've moved a few times, and maybe some of you have as well. Every time I move, one of the most challenging things is figuring out some of the things that you've established at your old location, right? So if you were living somewhere before, you had the dentist you went to and the doctor you went to, and in your family there's a hairdresser everyone goes to, and there's a barber you go to, right? So there's certain things you already know. This is where I go for this. This is the person I go to do business with. Well, when you move, there's some things you want to make sure you get the right person. So how do you find that, right? How did I find the person that I go to now as my barber? Well, I didn't just look in the yellow pages. I didn't just Google. I asked people that I trusted where I live now, who do you go to? Who would you recommend? And they told me, their barber. Go to this person. Tell them I sent you. Well, here's what happened. They gave me a referral. I trusted them. They trusted that barber. They transferred my trust in them to the barber. And so I did business with that person. Well, reverse it. You're now the business person. You have something to offer. And the way to get people to trust you is to get people who trust you to ask others to trust them in trusting you. All right. So for them to pass others' trust in them onto you. So maybe you say to yourself, I don't have anyone that I know that I could reach out to that needs my service. I don't have anyone that I can reach out to who would buy my product. I don't have anyone that I know that will be willing to bring me on as a consultant or a coach or whatever. But do you know someone who might know someone? Do you know a gatekeeper to the people who you want to do business with? That you can reach out to that person. You already have a trusting relationship with them. You can say to them, would you mind introducing me to people who I can help? Would you mind introducing me to some of your clients that you already have that I can serve them with what I have? And here's a key. That's a key, right? So there's one thing if it's someone who was your past customer. That's a great referral. Hey, this person did work for me. He gave a speech for me. She did coaching for me. You're looking for the same kind of coaching. Let me refer you to them. And that's how a lot of the clients that I've had in the past, that's how I got them. Referrals. People say, listen, I worked with Kymone. He helped me build out my business. You go talk to him. And I appreciate and I thank every person who's ever given me a referral. There's some people who gave me referrals who never even worked with me. But you saw me, you knew me, you trusted me, and you invested your trust in me and passed it on to the other person. Say, hey, trust him as well. But here's what's also cool. If there's someone who's doing a business similar to your business, or at least almost like a relay to your business, there's something that they do, and at the end of that, there's something you do, or something you do that at the end of doing it, you pass people on to them. That person may be a great person to give you referrals because people are doing business with them, and they're able to say, hey, I know you're coming to me for this service of printing your book, but do you need help with book coaching? I got someone I can refer you to so your book gets done well. If that's your service, you can get a referral from the person who does business after you or does business before you. That's a great referral, right? And listen, there are ways you can set up referral businesses, referral thank yous, right? You can just say thank you. Make sure you thank people who refer you. You can give them some sort of incentive for referring people, some sort of like referral affiliate setup, right? Or you can give them some service in kind. If you refer enough people, I'll give you a free session, a free whatever, based on you referring so many people. That's the loyalty programs that people have, right? Now, referrals are so interesting because there's some people who are called gatekeepers. They not just only have access to one person, they have access to a group of people. So they might be the person that's the head over something, and the people they are in touch with, if you reach them, they can help you reach multiples of your client. Those are great people to build relationships with, to show them that you can help the people that they're going to put you in touch with, and really to just nurture that and show them how you can be a problem solver. Don't just come based on your need. You're coming based on the need of the person you're asking them to refer you to. So number 1, reaching out. Number 2, referrals. And by the way, let me take a quick pause. Does your ministry belong in the marketplace? If you're interested in this merch, if you're interested, just drop a me in the comments, even if you're watching on replay. Want to know who might be interested in wearing and sharing the message that your ministry belongs in the marketplace. Number 1, reaching out. Number 2, referrals. Number three, reciprocity. I love this one, reciprocity. And reciprocity is simply this principle that when someone gives something, there is something that builds up in us that says, I want to do something in return for you, right? Oh, you are just so good to me. How can I do something in return for you? It's just a human feeling that if someone is really kind and generous and giving to you, that you want to, in return, give back to them, just reciprocate back to them. Now, how does that work for you to help you get people to buy from you? As I was sharing a little bit earlier, if you show up and you serve, remember now, this is ministry into the marketplace. You already know service, you know giving. If you can find a way to give away a sample or a taste of what you have to offer to people, it begins to build up in them this feeling of reciprocity. Wow, she is serving me. She has given me this product. She's given me a taste of what she has to offer. And it's helped me so much. And I want more. She's the person I want to do business with because she helped me. And so I want to come and spend money with her. Now, how can you find ways to give people ways that build reciprocity, right? Well, samples. Samples are a really simple way. If you're doing a product, create some sample packs of it and give them away to people. Give something that actually they like and they gives a good enough taste of what you have to offer that people say, yes, I like this. I want more of this, and I want to help you in return because you gave me something. Samples, right? A PDF, some tool that you have, giving some free resource away that helps people in the things that they're looking for, builds up reciprocity in them. A free training, a free class. If you're a person that you have a knowledge-based thing, you have coaching, if you do some free training for people, it allows them to say, wow, you helped me. You put on this free class. You helped me to get started. I want more. And because you were so good to me, I want to help you in return. Reciprocity. There's so many different ways you can do that, but understand the principle. Principle is, what can I give away that helps people so much that they think I want to pay you? Because if you could give me that for free, what would I get from you? How much can I be helped if I pay you? We're talking about ways, simple ways to get people to buy from you today on the Monetize Your Ministry podcast. I love having guests, but I also love episodes like this one where I want to just give you some really practical things. Some of you out there, you have some skills, you have some abilities, you even have a product that you're sitting on, and you're wondering, what's the next step? I need to build this business. And here's the truth. Unless you start selling some stuff, you're not in business. Unless you start moving some of that and someone starts paying you for it, you're not in business. You got a nice setup. You might even have a website. But unless someone's buying from you, you're not in business. So how do you get them to buy from you? Well, you reach out. You ask for referrals. Then you practice reciprocity. Give some stuff away. Don't give it all away, but give some stuff away. Number 4, there's one that my children have told me about, and I've really embraced a little bit more. It's ratings and reviews. Ratings and reviews. Buy on Amazon now. I know a lot of us are buying online, buying on different platforms. Amazon is one. Probably shouldn't give them free advertising, right? This is a podcast. For Amazon, you owe me some coin. But my kids would tell me, if you're going to buy, you need to look at the ratings. You need to look at the reviews on this thing. Because what that tells you is someone else has bought this product, someone else has used this service, and they liked it. And so they're giving it a good review, which means you can trust it because others have tried it. You can trust it because others have tried it. And that's what we're talking about, right? Trust built on, first of all, reaching out, people you already know. Trust built on other people's trust. That's referrals. Reciprocity is trust built on giving. And this one is trust based on others having tried it. So how do I get ratings and reviews? I'm just getting started. Maybe I haven't sold a lot of stuff. Maybe I haven't sold anything. Well, what I do believe is the thing that you're getting ready to sell, it's not that you haven't helped others with it, or it's not like no one knows who you are. So you can set up a simple page, right? Here's a place you can set it up. You can use a Facebook business page and get people to give you ratings and reviews on that Facebook business page. I did this for one of my clients in the past. He was getting started. He had not sold anything, but he had been ministering to people for decades, like literally decades. And he had ministered to hundreds, even thousands of people. And so what we said is, okay, we don't have a rating or review to get on the product you're going to sell, but we can get a rating and a review on you as a person. So how can we reach out to people who've done work with you in the past and ask them, hey, can you go to this page, give us a rating and a review? Can you go to this page, just write a review on this page? And people did, because you had served them and they liked you and they trusted you. And so they went ahead and wrote some ratings, and we actually have some reviews, and they gave a rating because it allows you to do that. You can do it on places like LinkedIn. Let people give you, like, I think it's a LinkedIn recommendation. But whatever platform it is, get people who you have served before, even who've used your product, who've used your service, who benefited from your expertise. Even if you gave that away for free, ask them for a rating, ask them for a review. If you do a free event, here's the benefit of doing something free. You can also get people, hey, give me a rating on this presentation, on this event. Go to this page right here and leave us a rating and a review. And once others come now to see your future offerings, they don't know how much those people paid for your service. They just see 5 stars and a comment. 5 stars and a comment. And it tells them, I can trust you because others have tried you. All right. 5 simple ways to get people to buy from you. We've talked about reaching out. We've talked about referrals. We've talked about reciprocity. We've talked about ratings and reviews. I got one more for you. One more in this episode. This episode of the Monetize Your Ministry podcast. Here it is. Show off your results. Show off your results. Hey, listen. A lot of people don't trust something unless they can see it. And how can you show them that you've gotten results for others, right? Because that helps to build trust. So if you are providing some service, what ways can you show off your results? Now, some of us, especially coming from the church world, the ministry world, we have this sort of feeling of, I don't want to show off, right? We even have statements, right? I don't want to tell others what I'm doing. I think some of those statements are taken out of context. But if I'm going to do business with you, I want to see what you've done for someone else. I want to see your results. If you're telling me you do videography, if you're telling me you do photography, I want to see some pictures you've taken for other people. I want to see some videos you've taken for other people. Post those things, and especially people who do things that are visual, you got an advantage. You can show that stuff off. You can have people give a testimonial. Here it is. Before I worked with James, right? This is what life was like for me. These are the struggles I had. This is how I was feeling. After I worked with him, this is how I feel right now. This is how life is for me, and this is what I'm looking forward to. I want to encourage you to work with James. Now, that works in a few ways. It's kind of like a rating, but more like kind of like a review, but it's more like results. It shows from their own lips a before and an after picture of what it's like working with you, of how you've helped them. This is someone before she came into our company to consult with us, and to bring us these tips on emotional intelligence. This is how our team was. We were all fractured. We weren't doing well. But after she came and spent a day with us, this is how our company is functioning. Those are just ways that you capture. Make sure you're always capturing testimonials. Make sure you're always capturing results. Don't start a job without taking a before picture, and don't end the job without taking an after picture. Take a before and an after. Show a before, show an after. This is akin to once was blind, but now I see. Once was lost, but now I'm found. This is the results. And by showing off your results, what it tells people is if you can do it for them, you can do it for me. And that's what I want to encourage you. Show off your results. Start now. The client that you're working with, even if you're working with them for not enough money, get some results. Get a baseline. Get a starting point. Get something from them where they can tell you how things are for them now, and then capture it at the end when you're finished working with them. Whether you're working with this person for free. Now, you'll get much better results, I believe, long-term and more sustainably for people who pay you. But if this is someone you're starting for free, get some results. Now, here's a tip, right? Here's a way that you can put all of these together. Maybe you can do a group of people that you start off with and you tell them, listen, I'm running this group. I'm going to be working with a group of people because you want to get a nice pool of people, and give them a price. But tell them, listen, I'm offering some sorts of scholarships, right? Some ways that if you're interested and you don't have the money, I'll give you a scholarship. And they apply. You let them know, hey, you got the scholarship. So at least they value it because it's not free. It's a price, but they get it. They get it for free, but there is something they had to do to get it for free. You take them through the program, right? And after you're finished, you ask them for testimonials. You ask them to rate and review whatever you have. And then you ask them for referrals. And you even offer them that they can buy something else from you. So you've had a chance to do some reaching out. You've had a chance to get some results. You had a chance to show off some ratings and reviews, to provide some reciprocity, and to get some referrals. That's a way you could put them all together. Now, you've heard the 5 ways. Which one is most interesting to you? Put it in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, type it in the comments. I'd love to know which of these ways resonates with you most as you think about how to get people to buy from you. Which one of these? Is it reaching out? It might be uncomfortable for you, but it's actually the one that might produce the quickest results. Is it referrals? Is it reciprocity? And that can even look like putting out free content, right? Is it getting results for people, or is it ratings and reviews? Which is the one that resonates with you the most? Super curious. Which one is your answer? All right. Make sure you share this episode, because I know there's somebody is getting started with their business. They got the thing that they're working on, but they're going to need to make some sales. If they're not making sales, eventually you're going to go out of business. So this is one way you can help them. If you want to help them with their business, share this episode, because this episode can help them to figure out how to get some momentum going, to get some sales going, figure out some simple ways, some ways to get some marketing going without being too fancy and without spending a whole bunch of money. So share this with them. Also, go ahead and subscribe. If you're listening to this now, somebody shared this with you. They were so kind enough to share this with you. Share it with someone else and subscribe to the podcast and leave us a rating and review. Lastly, the t-shirt is here. If you're interested, drop a me in the comments. Let me know. We might do something special. We might do some hoodies. Who knows? But my ministry belongs in the marketplace. If you believe that, wear it and share it. Hey, listen, super excited about this episode of the podcast. I enjoy the interviews. I enjoy episodes like this one where I get to give you practical tips, stuff that you probably should pay for, but I'm giving this away to you for free. All right, take this stuff, go put it into practice, and go monetize your ministry. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Monetize Your Ministry podcast with Kymone Hines. For more information, visit our website at www.monetizeyourministrypodcast.com. That's www.monetizeyourministrypodcast.com. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Please share this episode with someone who needs it. Let's increase our income and impact.